Hi everyone, and welcome to the XD Daily Creative Challenge. Today is day number 9 in the challenge, the last day. It's crazy how fast time has flown. So let me know if you've been following with the challenge every day for the past 2 weeks. I definitely want to shout you guys out. So hi everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. It's the last day, and Gladstone, nice to see you. Babak, Ahmed, Alex, Eric, always nice to see you. Awesome, so we have a lot of people joining us. Oh, and every day and night, that's funny. So it's so nice that, you know, a few of you guys have been tuning in every day, which is awesome. But before we get into the challenge, as always, I like to just give you a little background of what the XD Daily Creative Challenge is all about and the different ways you can participate, just in case this is your first time tuning in. There's so much that you can, you know, rewatch, so let me get into that. So I'm just gonna go to my computer. I'm going to share my screen. So as you can see, this is the official landing page for the Daily Creative Challenge. So essentially, this challenge is a great way for you to learn the basics of UX UI design with Adobe XD in 9 challenges. And there's also an official community Slack channel that you can join. And just really quickly before I get into that, I'm just going to scroll down. And this section on the landing page, this is where all the challenges, past and present, will be found. So we have from day 1 all the way to today, which is day number 5. So there's a lot to catch up, just in case this is your first time tuning in. And there's also a downloadable template that you can download, just so you can, you know, follow along with me if you're tuning into the show live or just on your own time. So as I mentioned earlier, there is a Slack channel that you can join, and if you go to this URL right above me, this is where you can also join the Slack channel. And I'm going to give you a quick tour of the Slack channel. So first thing you're going to want to do is introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from, your first name, of course. We have people from all around the world, which is pretty surreal, who's joining us for this challenge, over 5,000 people. So definitely introduce yourself. In the announcements channel, this is where every day in the challenge it's posted, and also the downloadable XD file. You know, you can download that in the Slack channel in addition to on the official landing page. So be sure to check this every day. In the design feedback channel, this is where you'll get some very valuable feedback on your designs based on the challenge every day. And we also have mentors who are joining us for the challenge, and you'll get some very high-level feedback from professionals in the industry. So definitely you're going to want to take advantage of that. And finally, in the Help General channel, let's say you have maybe a more technical question in regards to the app itself, Adobe XD, you're going to want to post it in the Help General channel. So that's just an overview of the official Slack channel for the challenge. And I'm going to quickly go to Behance. So this is where we're posting, you know, all of our work to be found on Behance. And we are using the keyword XD Daily Challenge for the challenge. So just before you publish your Behance project, if it's your first time publishing a project, or if you're uploading your work in individual projects, you're going to want to hit the discoverability tab, and where it says keyword, you're going to want to enter XD Daily Challenge. And I'll show you at the end of this show how you can do it more in depth. But again, we're using the keyword XD Daily Challenge. That way, everyone who's participating in the challenge can find your work. And I also like to feature some of your really awesome, you know, challenge designs live on the show. So speaking of that, I have 2 designs based on yesterday's challenge that I want to feature. So this first UI is by Dennis, and as you can see, he created a really awesome I guess video, or is this a GIF of the prototype in action. So yesterday we designed and prototyped a fitness app. So this is super awesome. I love your presentation already. This GIF is really cool. That is really awesome that you've included that. And a nice photo of a runner, so that's awesome. And you also, if I could see, you added or you utilized that feature that I showed you in yesterday's challenge, which was object blur, to create this really cool neon light effect. So that looks really awesome. Great work. And I also want to feature this really nice fitness app UI by Patricio. And he created this really cool app. And the reason why I love it is if you scroll, there's actually this really cool card that appears. So that is really cool. And just quick thing to mention, it looks like this point here is on top of the artboard. So I guess if that wasn't intentional, maybe, you know, just keep in mind the layer order of the different objects on your artboard. But overall, super awesome. I love this scrolling effect. That's really unique. Let me appreciate that. Okay, so let's get started on day number 9. So I'm just gonna head on over to my template. So for today, we're going to design and prototype a trivia game app on a mobile. So this is the template that you should have received or downloaded for XD. And as you can see, we have 2 artboards. So the first artboard, there's a space where you can put your trivia question, and also a button that you can use on additional artboards, maybe a next button if you want to have multiple questions. And we also have a second artboard where you can put, I guess, the final screen, maybe display a score in this circle here, and maybe the user's profile photo or avatar. And we also have some sharing buttons. So for Twitter, Facebook, if the user wants to share their score, and an additional button to maybe send the user back to their profile to see the different, I guess, challenges they've participated in the trivia app. So again, for time's sake, I always like to have my content already on some of my artboards. So as you can see, the question that I chose for this trivia app is based on Toy Story, really awesome movie. Let me know in the Behance chat if you've watched Toy Story. All right, so what is the name of Woody's horse in the movie Toy Story? As you can see, the answer is Bullseye, but I want to clearly indicate that on my app. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some color. So right off the bat, I actually have an object that I will put on top of an image. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add this primary color, which is this really nice, I guess, indigo or purplish color. So I'm gonna apply that to this object. And because the question is about Toy Story, I wanted to have a really nice photo of characters from the movie Toy Story. So I'm just gonna head on over to Photoshop. And I have this really sweet image of Woody and Buzz. And I'm going to actually convert it to grayscale because when using an image, and if I have a specific color palette that I want to stick to, I don't want images from the color to bleed into my set color palette. So that's why I'm going to convert this image to a grayscale before I put it onto my artboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to Layer, Mode, Grayscale. Just going to really quickly change it to grayscale. I don't care if it's, I guess, discarding the color profile. And now that I've done that, I'm actually just gonna select the image and I'm gonna drag and drop it into my Creative Cloud library. And now that it's in my Creative Cloud library, if I head on over to XD, and if I open my library, so I can go to File, Open CC Library, or I can just, on my Mac keyboard, I could press Command-Shift-L on my keyboard. The image that I just edited is gonna appear. So I'm just gonna duplicate this object, and I'm gonna drag and drop this image onto it like so. And I'm gonna put this color right on top of it. That way a little bit of the image shows. There's no additional colors bleeding into the color palette that I want to use for this UI, and it looks good. All right, so now I'm gonna move on to my second artboard. And again, you can you know, duplicate this object and drag and drop the image again, or if you want to save time, you can actually just group those objects. So select them both, press Command G, and then you can just, oops, press Command D to duplicate. Let me move this. And then you can just send it to the back. Oops. Oops. There we go. All right. So for the final screen background, I just want it to be the solid primary color that I'm using. So there's going to be no image or anything. So I'm just going to select the entire artboard and I'm going to apply my primary color. Okay. So for this entire screen, I will show you how you can prototype to create an interactive experience of someone who is participating in the game. So I have an additional screen here where I want it to show that the user has selected an answer. And I'm going to indicate that by applying this really bright green. Oops. So I'm just going to double click because it is in a group. So I want to make sure I select this background rectangle, and I'm going to apply the green like so. So this just indicates that this was the selected answer. And on the third screen, everything is the same, but you'll notice that there's an additional next button. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply that green again to the answer. And for the next button, I'm just going to apply the primary color, like so. So now that I have all the colors and content on my first three screens, for this final screen, the score screen, it shows the score. I'm just going to add some more colors, and I'm also going to add the user's profile photo in this object here. So I want this to be my primary color again, so I'm just going to select this group of text objects. Going to apply that nice purple. Also going to apply it to this button here. And again, we have some sharing icons. The user can tweet their score or share their score on Facebook. So I'm going to apply Twitter blue to this button here. And for Facebook, I'm going to apply Facebook blue. Right. So I already have a photo that I'm going to use from Diverse UI. And if you're not familiar with that, it's located in the additional resources section in the template. So check that out if you're looking for a photo that you want to use, or you can even use your own photo. And I'm just going to go into my folder for today's challenge, Diverse UI, and I'm going to use this image and just drag and drop it onto the object. There we go. So right now there's a border around the profile photo, but I want it to stand out a little more. So I'm going to select the object here, and in the assets panel in my colors section, to apply this nice and bright yellow, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to right click and select apply as border. And that's just only going to apply the color to the border and not the entire object. And I have something else I want to add. So this is a congratulations screen, and I just want to add some fun to this screen. So I actually have some confetti that I got from Adobe stock. And I'm just going to drag and drop it onto the artboard from my symbols library. So I have this really fun confetti, and I'm just going to position it right here. And I don't want it to go on top of the content because it's hard to read. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, with the object selected, press Command, left bracket, just to send it back. There we go. And this is just to add some fun to the screen, the score screen. There we go. Okay, so it looks like I have all the colors and content that I want for my trivia app game UI. So I'm just gonna go into prototype mode and add some interaction. So right at the top here, I'm just gonna select prototype. And with this first artboard selected, I want this to be the home artboard, or the artboard that when I select desktop preview, I want that to be the first artboard shown. So I'm just going to select this home icon right here in the corner. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to wire this, I'm gonna select this question here. So when the user selects option A, I want it to transition to green. So I'm going to select this object, and I'm just gonna wire it to the second artboard. And I want the action to be a simple transition. The trigger is gonna be a tap. I want the animation to be dissolve, and I want the duration to be 0.2 seconds. So really quickly, let's preview that. There we go, really good. So now on the second artboard, I want to add a time transition to where as soon as we select our option and it shows that it's the correct answer, I want this next button to appear. And I don't need to tap it or anything, it's just gonna automatically appear. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wire this entire artboard to the third screen. And I want the trigger to be time this time. And I want the duration to be 1 second. And I want the animation to be dissolve, and I want duration to be 0.2 seconds. So really quickly, let's see how that looks. So selected the right answer, and there we go. So that looks really good. So really quickly, I noticed that this check mark appears, but I actually want this to show automatically when we select the right answer. So I'm just gonna quickly switch to design mode, and I'm just gonna press Command D to duplicate it. Oops, let me paste it outside of the group context, and there we go. So just a quick tweak that I just did. All right, so now that the correct answer has been selected, and it's the last question in the trivia app, it's question number 5 as indicated here. I just want it to go to the score screen so we can know our score if we've won. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to select this next button, and I'm gonna wire it to the final artboard. And I want this to just be a simple transition. So the trigger is gonna be a tap, the animation is gonna be dissolve, and duration is going to be 0.2 seconds. So really quickly, just to see all the wiring that we've just done, I'm just gonna press Command A to see everything I've just done. So I have a wire here, so it shows everything. So now let's preview this entire prototype and see how it works. So I'm just going to select desktop preview here. And let's see. So it's question number 5. What is the name of Woody's horse in the movie Toy Story? Is it A, Bullseye, B, Bullwinkle, or C, Horsey? think it's bullseye. Let's see, I'm right, yay. So just gonna press next, and there we go. So I did notice that, I guess, as I was designing, it looks like this button kind of shifted over, so just gonna fix that really quickly. And that's the thing when you're designing, sometimes things move around and you don't even realize it, so it's always good to, you know, go back and make sure everything looks good. So let's do that one more time. Great. And this automatically appears by using time transition. Super awesome feature in XD. Click next. Congratulations, yay. I think this looks so good. Do you guys think it looks good? All right. So now that I have, you know, I designed and prototyped my trivia game app, I want to show everyone what I just did on my Behance project. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to actually embed it on my Behance project as an interactive prototype, or you can also just export it as individual images. So if you don't want to add it as an interactive prototype, you can just select the artboards. So you can select all of them. And then go to File, Export, Selected. And that's just going to export the selected artboards that you want to export. But again, I want to add this as an interactive prototype. So I'm just going to hit this sharing icon right here in the top right corner. And I'm going to hit Publish Prototype. I'm going to create it as a public link. And then right here, this is where you can copy and embed code. So I'm just going to click that. And I'm just going to go to my Behance project for the XD Daily Creative Challenge. And when I scroll down, when you see this Insert Media toolbar, I'm just going to select this Embed Media icon. I'm going to paste the code, click Embed. And there's my interactive prototype. It looks really good. Cool. So as you'll note, there is quite a bit of white space or padding surrounding my prototype, and I don't want that. I don't think it looks good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to select this button here, and it's just gonna reduce the padding that is surrounding the prototype. So I'm just gonna hit that, and it shrinks it down, and it looks really great. So as I mentioned near the start of the show, I mentioned that we're using the keyword XD Daily Challenge. So again, if you already have your Behance project, just hit Settings, hit the Discoverability tab, and here, this is where it says keyword, where you're going to, use the keyword XD Daily Challenge. And if it's your first time, publishing your Behance project, you can just, before you hit publish, do the same thing, hit the Discoverability tab, and use the keyword XD Daily Challenge. So I'm just going to save my project. And it should be, oops, right here. This looks really good, yay. So I hope you enjoyed day number 9's challenge. Be as creative as you'd like. I can't wait to see your work on Behance and over on the Slack channel. Be sure to, if you want to take this one step further, or, challenge yourself, you can add more questions, more interactions. I know there's some really popular trivia apps right now, so feel free to take a look at them for some inspiration. And yeah, so thanks so much for tuning in. Shout out to everyone who's tuned in since day number 1, OG Daily Creative Challengers. Yeah, so thanks so much for tuning in today, and I can't wait to see your work in the Slack channel and on Behance. Bye.